barriers, the taller I become. The farther you take my rights away, the faster I will run. You can deny me, you can decide to turn your face away. No matter, 'cause there's something inside so strong. I know that I can make it, though you're doing me wrong, so wrong. You thought that my pride was gone. Oh no, there's something inside so strong. Oh, something inside so strong. The more you refuse to hear my voice, the louder I will sing. You hide behind walls of Jericho, your lies will come tumbling. Deny my place and time, you squander wealth that's mine. My light will shine so brightly it will blind you. 'Cause
Now, I stand here today calling for a statutory public inquiry into Essex mental health services. We are now 93 families and growing, sadly, because the children, elderly, middle-aged are all being fouled and are continuing to die needlessly. Black, white, it doesn't matter. Young, old, it doesn't matter. It's all of us now. It is touching all of us. It's like a cancer that is growing. And that person is lost. A lot of families don't have the strength that I have, so they go away quietly. We need this. We need everyone joining together to help each other, to make everyone sit up and be strong, because this is a battle. All these beautiful people did not deserve to die the way they did and at the time they did. The government commissioned an independent inquiry which is currently ongoing. The inquiry into deaths at mental health trusts in Essex was announced after 106,580 people signed a petition calling for an inquiry on a full statutory footing. The current inquiry has already uncovered at least 1,500 deaths, 900 within that figure of which we have been advised the inquiry team have little to no details about. 900 souls. Do they not matter? And please bear in mind, this is a figure that the Trust have picked out of the air. It could be much more than that. The only way for real change to happen is by having a comprehensive investigation with the legal power to compel witnesses to attend and to give evidence on oath. The only investigation that carries that legal power is a statutory public inquiry. Ms Dorries MP said she wanted the inquiry to be non-statutory so it is quicker. Again, we were being ignored. We have been fighting for years. Yes, we want answers as soon as possible, but we are not in a rush if it means we can have a thorough and comprehensive investigation, which is a statutory inquiry. Then we will wait for that. The choice of chair feels like a mockery. Dr Strathdean may well be a person of integrity, but her background and extensive involvement with the NHS mental health services make it impossible for her to be considered independent without bias. Changing the type of inquiry to a full statutory one is simple. You could choose to do so easily. Channel 4 dispatches Are Our Wards Safe recently aired. A retired police officer went undercover into Essex mental health wards and uncovered systemic abuse and multiple safety failings still ongoing. We will not stop until we get a statutory public inquiry.
2012, Anthony Granger, shot. 2012, Thomas Orchard, restraint. 2012, Amy L. Carrier, failed duty of care in secure mental unit, age 14. 2012, Matthew Leahy, failed duty of care in secure mental health unit. 2013, Jordan Begley, tasered. 2013, Jimmy Mubenga, restraint. 2013, Darren Neville, restraint. 2014, Dean Joseph, shot. 2014, Habib Papsula, restraint. 2014, Greg Revel, Glen Parva Young Offenders Institution, failed duty of care. 2015, Sheku Bayu, restraint. 2015, Jermaine Baker, shot. 2015, Jack Susianka, age 17, chased by territorial support group, drowned.
We urge you, our newly elected Prime Minister, to do the right thing and add the statutory powers to the current toothless inquiry into Essex mental health services, defibrillate the system here in Essex, then send the learning across our nation into every mental health establishment to make the same changes required. Signed by Melanie Leahy and multiple bereaved and failed families across this nation.
No justice!
No peace!
No justice!
No peace! I'd just like to say thank you for this opportunity to join and unite with the Family Friends campaign. What an amazing group of people you all are. Find a friend, every one of you here, tell them about their campaign. It's amazing and they will save lives. God bless you all. Thank you.
Good evening. Now the news in London. The families of Chris Cabba and Mark Duggan were among hundreds who marched across central London to Downing Street today. The United Families and Friends March was a protest in honour of those who died after contact with the police and other institutions. Their loved ones are demanding change. Rory Challens reports.
When your loved one dies at the hands of the state, grief, anger and injustice intertwine. For the family of Chris Cabba, emotions are still painfully raw. In September, police shot the unarmed 24-year-old in the head in Streatham. The IOPC says the officer is under criminal investigation. Together with other bereaved families, Chris's mum, dad and cousin brought letters to 10 Downing Street and the new Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak.
Leave the families. Let's not turn down the street the same way we host all these business people, all these bankers, all these financiers, host the families. I challenge them to be there.
This special delivery was the culmination of a march that began up the road in Trafalgar Square. But the pain stretches back decades. Deaths on streets, public transport, in police stations, immigration units and psychiatric hospitals. Marcia Riggs' brother Sean died 14 years ago in Brixton police station.
This year, we've seen the death of Christopher Cabba and Deji Obashaw. So the deaths are still continuing. In fact, the deaths have been happening in this country since the 60s, the 70s, for decades. And no family has ever been afforded true justice, and that's why we're here.
The United Families and Friends campaign has marched every year since 1998. They want officers suspended immediately after a death in custody. They want prompt criminal prosecutions. They want to meet with the Prime Minister, and they want justice and accountability. 24 years some of these families have been marching and writing letters, and odds on they'll be back again next year, still searching for justice. Rory Challens, ITV News.
The demonstration has been organised by the group United Families and Friends. Our correspondent Greg McKenzie has more from Downing Street.
Well, more than 2,000 people joined the protests, which started this afternoon at Trafalgar Square, as many of the bereaved families headed here to Downing Street to hand a letter in to the Prime Minister, CCing in the Home Secretary and also the London Mayor.
the least we deserve is an acknowledgement, you know, that we're here, that we're suffering, that we're bereaved, you know, that we've got quite a big campaign going on, that so many people has come out to protest and support us. So if they turn a blind eye on this, in my opinion, once again, it just shows that the British government does not care about the lives of people who have died in police custody or at the hands of the state.
We've come to unite with these families, look at them, amazing warriors for the next generation, and trying to get justice for their own loved ones.
Rishi needs to step up and help our families, and most of all, give us legal aid so we can fight for justice.
Well, many of the families are demanding justice. They want answers and they want the system to change. In that letter, there are a number of demands, one of which is to include criminal prosecutions for when a member of the public dies having come into contact with the police.